Hello everyone. So today I'm going to react to my video the way I was reacting to the last two because my desktop has decided to not record the whole thing. So anyway, let's just get into this right away. I actually heard this story from another channel quite a while ago, but then this person also decided to comment on it, so I want to react to this person. Let's get into this. This is hilarious.
Alright everyone, we start off today with the Vegetarian Menace. Now, qualification, many of you are probably vegetarians. I like many vegetarian dishes. The Beyond Meat thing and meat substitutes in general I think are cringe. It's an example of one of the great corporate con jobs of literally all time at this.
I couldn't agree more. It's ridiculous how we're being told to eat this disgusting crap. I've had vegan meat before. Well, tofu. They use that. It's like the most basic of like a meat substitute you could ever find is tofu. It's just blech, gross. I don't even want to try the actual Beyond Meat junk. Don't even.
This point, marketing textured soy products that aren't really healthy for you to eat and are...
Thank you for saying that. Not healthy to eat. Thank you for saying that because nobody gets it. Everybody's like, oh, soy is so much better for the environment though because it kills those animals. Blah, 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 blah. No. Go to a monocrop. I dare you. Go visit the area where there's like monocropping going on. Go to an area like that. Do you hear any bugs and cattle and... Do you see any deer roaming around? Do you hear any birds fluttering around?
They're full of chemicals, and they're heavily processed, as though they're environmentally friendly. Better for you. It's no harm to the environment. Yeah, it's wrapped in plastic, it's filled with preservatives, but just fucking eat it. Don't make your own veggie burgers at home. Buy our textured soy products. If you're lucky, they're made with like lentils or mushrooms or something.
Which are really no better, just an FYI.
The COO, I think that makes him third in line in the company. I think it goes CEO, CFO, COO, if I remember correctly. A lot of corporate acronyms. Corporations are very convoluted things. And they're people, my friend. People with multiple personality disorders.
Okay, well, depending on the corporation, maybe. You could be right. They definitely have some narcissistic traits for sure. Well, that's depending on the corporation, of course, but vegans do have a lot of narcissistic traits.
Their COO went nuts at a traffic jam or something. He had an altercation with another driver, and then he bit the dude in the nose, thus eating meat.
He was never truly vegan!
Which is a great example for someone that's part of a company that makes meatless, meat-like products. Also, I have no...
Oh, and a prime example of how bad the vegan diet actually is. I'll get into that a little bit more.
Notice that every vegetarian product that's been marketed majorly in the last half-decade or so is designed to look, feel, and taste as much like meat as possible. If you're going to be a vegetarian, why don't you give up the grift and just make something herby and savory? Exactly.
And the same thing with the keto people. If you're going to go keto, stop. Look, if the sweet treats are why you decided to go keto in the first place, because you're gaining weight on the sweet treats, or you're getting diabetes, or having something going on every time you eat something sweet, stop with the sweet treats and just eat your gosh dang meat, eggs, cheese, and veggies. Like, eat your keto diet the way it's supposed to be. Eat the actual stuff, like the veggies and the cheese and the meat and the eggs. Stop eating the sweet stuff. Cut that out. Sorry. But if you know that's a dangerous thing to be doing is eating the sweets, stop doing it. Just cut them out.
Like, I can make vegetarian burgers. Liz has a recipe for them. Her veggie burgers are based mainly on like black beans and textured beet, and they're really, really good. The best ones have a lot of carrot and are chickpea based, I think, because they fry up really well. So if you want something savory, just do that. It's cheaper than buying their overpriced crap.
I'm going to tell you though, beans, sir, if you see this, please look into Stephen Gundry, and he'll talk more about beans, and he'll tell you what beans actually do. You'll find out why beans aren't the best source, and in fact, the worst source for nutrition and the gut and things like that.
I just thought this was funny because now I'm getting visions in my head of Doug Ramsey, it's the COO that got arrested for, I think it was aggravated battery and making terroristic threats. He's trying to eat the man's face, Hannibal Lecter style. I'm thinking now we've got a problem because now that he's had a taste of human flesh, he might become a man-eater. And so he'll disappear from the police radar prior to trial, and you'll get sightings of him in the area looking more and more crazy and disheveled for years to come. He'll slowly devolve into Golem, and he'll become more and more animalistic and start hunting people for their food.
Not really for their food, but I can see the exact same thing there, buddy. I could see him becoming full-on zombie. Just like tearing people apart, you know, like Walking Dead. You hear that, like he's just like lying in the street, and then when you come up to him, because he's like he smells you, and he's like, I need blood, or I need brains.
And the police will realize, well, shit, you know, at this point we're not even dealing with a rational man. They'll have to call up the local zoo and have, like, tranquilizer guns taken out, and they'll have to capture him and put him on display. Beyond the hyperbole, I just wanted to rant about this and how funny it is briefly. I know it has nothing to do with politics, it has nothing to do with the upcoming midterms. By the way, polling awfully sporadic for getting this close to the actual election. I'm hoping that this improves. Watching someone who's vegan, I guess, or vegetarian, he's running this company, or has a major role in one of the big meat-free meat companies, cannibalize part of another person's face because, I don't know, maybe he was on coke or something like that.
Okay, and this is what I was going to touch on. So, dude, he's vegan. That's the problem. He's vegan. The longer, even vegetarians can have this problem. The longer you are vegan, especially though with veganism, the longer you are vegan, the more likely, and in fact, the most likely you are to develop extreme psychotic behavior. Like worthy of being admitted to a psychiatric ward. Like, I've heard of cases where vegans just got so sick that over time they have been admitted to psychiatric wards. It is just that because the vegan diet is deprived of the fat and the cholesterol and the actual fat and cholesterol that we need. We aren't designed the same way that a gorilla or an orangutan or a bonobo or a chimpanzee is. We don't have the same digestive system. Their digestive systems are bigger. They're different. Like, you know, the body shape is different too. Anatomy might be similar, but there are differences in the anatomy as well. Like their stomachs are meant for all that plant matter. Ours isn't. We have to be more carnivore than omnivore. Definitely more carnivore than herbivore. So we can't be mostly herbivorous. Humans are not, I probably should say herbivore, but humans are not herbivores. We are facultative carnivores. He kind of mentions like obligate carnivores. We are facultative. Okay, we're not gonna, like, you can treat yourself as an obligate carnivore if you want. Like, in fact, your body, at least even for a few months, would thank you. Being an obligate carnivore, treating yourself that way for a few months. The human body would heal so much better, especially after a few months of being treating yourself as an obligate carnivore. Then try adding in those plant foods after like 3 to 6 months. Try a full year as a carnivore. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to degrade you the way that a vegan diet would.
That is just absolutely astonishingly one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. Again, I just can't get the image out of my head of him reverting to becoming an obligate carnivore or something like that because of this, and he completely wrecks his life and just goes on a downward spiral, and pretty soon he's got the steak channel on TikTok or something.
That would actually be amazing, honestly. People reacting to this former vegan becoming obligate carnivore eating steaks. You know what? I'm still laughing at the picture of him. I just have him. I have a vision of him in my head as a zombie, just going berserk. I want brains. More like, I want brains. Almost like, yeah, like what he said, Gollum type, but he's not. He doesn't quite talk like Gollum, like speech-wise. He probably still would talk normally, but he's just, I want brains.
But he's been converted. He has tasted of flesh.
He is no longer vegan!
And blood from the human nose. I don't know. Maybe that part of the body is tasty. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, no. It tastes like nothing because I've licked... Okay. It might sound weird, but I have chewed on and licked and done all kinds of weird things to myself when I was a kid. And I still have this issue now. I think it's a nervous habit where I lick or bite my lips. And I think it's because I was anemic for so long, and protein deficient, fat deficient, nutrient deficient, had every, like, I would bite my knuckles as a kid. My parents would be like, what happened to your knuckles? You're all red there. Like, what are you doing? And I would lick my arms sometimes. I don't know. I don't really do that so much anymore. Now it's just an issue of biting my lips. I still like bite them to where they start looking chapped and cracked and bled. And I think it's red and bleeding because I think it's because my body, I'm not, like, mentally, I'm a lot better, but my body sees this whole anemia. I had anemia really bad, and I think it sees it as a traumatic event. So I chew my lips, I bite my lips, I lick them, I sometimes chew the skin that's coming off. I chew it the rest of the way off. I hold on to it and I chew the rest of it off. I don't do anything with the skin, I just chew it off. And then I start looking like it's, I think, because my body is traumatized from the anemia. And I've cured my anemia, but still, like, I think it's a traumatic, it's trauma. Like, my body just, it still does it. It still thinks that there's something wrong. I don't have that anymore. I don't have the anemia anymore. But I feel like my body sees trauma. Like it's a nervous habit. And I'm trying to keep myself from doing it. It's not easy because I still do it. I catch myself doing it I caught myself doing it maybe about an hour or so ago.
But I just really wanted to talk about the company and the corporate branding, the grift associated with this. This is just the funny aside that segues into a much funnier situation. When I go to the store, the Netherlands, to be clear, has an awful lot of the Beyond Meat kind of thing.
I would say that's because the Netherlands is a cold place. Okay, it gets really, really cold up there. And people would eat meat a lot of the time. And honestly, that's what you should be doing. Just keep eating your meat. If you're a proud meat eater, keep being that proud meat eater you are. The Netherlands is cold, right? And they're trying to push the Beyond Meat stuff, especially up there, because they think that, it's just as good, it works just as well, it's the same old, same old. It has the exact same, this, that, and the other. No, it doesn't, but yeah, I would say that's probably why.
Far more than in the United States. Like, if you go to Burlington, which is Hippieville in Vermont, certainly if you went to, like, New York City, I'm sure you can find all of these products, too. You can find fake chicken nuggets, fake steaks, fake hamburger, fake hot dog, fake sausage, etc., etc., etc. Some of them are better than others.
None of them are better. None of them are better. They're made with gluten, seitan, which you may as well call it Satan, because that's what it is. It wrecks your gut. It's like literally gluten in there. Like, that's all it is. Yeah, it's horrific. I don't know why anyone deals with that crap. But yeah, none of them are better. They destroy the gut.
And soy definitely, as far as the texturing goes and potentially the flavoring, is the most meat-like. It's also the least healthy of the alternatives, and it's a goddamn giant grift.
I'm glad he's saying that. Although I think all beans are right up there with soy, because like grains and beans, I blame eating a bunch of that and not knowing that that's what it was going to do. I blame that on the anemia that I have. I also blame that on the short stature that I have, because I thus haven't grown to my full size. I'm a little bit under. I'm quite tiny. I'm a little bit over 5 feet, but I'm very, very tiny. I'm built very tiny. And I blame my heavy consumption of grain and bread and things like that to that, and peanut butter and all these beans and seeds and soy and grains. I don't think there was quite as much soy in my diet when I was a kid, but as I got older, yeah, I think there probably was.
I think they realized, hey, we produce massive soybean over-harvests year after year in many parts of the world. It is good for soil restoration.
Yeah, it's not, vegans. It's not. I'm really hoping he was joking when he said that, but it's not good for soil restoration, vegans. Look into it. Oh, but we have things we can add to the soil. Blah, blah. Yeah. Chemicals that aren't even a freaking part of gosh dang nature. Yes, it is. It's made in a lab. It's made to imitate it. Yeah. Guess how well that's going for you.
And we can only ferment so much soy sauce. So they're doing with soy what they did with corn for many years. They turn it into corn syrup or other binding agents, and they pump it into food. For instance, corn-related binders got Taco Bell sued years ago.
I actually love this. I didn't hear about this, but I love that. I love that because people aren't getting what they want, right? And you gotta remember too, there is such thing as a corn allergy. Okay? Yeah.
Their all-beef taco filling was found to be only minutely actual meat. A very large proportion of it was corn-based. You have an enormous supply from the United States in that case, and soy comes from the U.S. and other countries as well. You have an enormous amount of material. You can't use it all. You can't perpetually pay farmers to leave those acreages completely empty just to pump up the product when you can turn it into something else and brand it. Bottled water is a great example of a corporate con job.
Yes, I will agree with this too. I've had bottled water. It tastes empty, like there's something missing or something toxic in it. Like, okay. There was one time I got a bottle of water. We had like a big cooler of bottled water. And this bottle of water, this one particular bottle of water that I tried, literally I took a drink of it. Thinking about it, you know how when you have your Brita filter, for those people who have Brita filters, you know the Brita filter when you put it on, and the filter isn't completely cleared out, like the water isn't Like, it hasn't completely run through it yet, and you're just like running the water through, and then you put water in your cup or whatever, and then you take a drink and you taste that like chalk, sort of gross charcoal taste. Like, yeah, that's what that particular bottle of water tasted like. And we're supposed to believe that it's just pure water? No, it's not.
You can take a bottle, a reusable glass bottle, and fill it from your tap for less than a tenth of the price and carry that around. For some reason, people have gotten used to simply paying far more than the water is worth simply because supposedly it tastes better. And if you're in Flint, Michigan, I suppose that makes sense. In most parts of the country, it's not really a problem. I find bottled water to have a bizarre, off-putting flavor to it.
Me too. That's how you know you're a meat eater as well. The more meat you eat, the higher your zinc goes, and the better your taste and smell are. Just so you know, guys. Just so you know, because now I can't even eat seafood anymore. I used to love seafood. I would devour the heck out of shellfish, and my goodness. Now, it just all tastes like sand to me.
Generally speaking. I'm not exactly sure. Probably because it's fermenting in a plastic bottle for months at a time before anyone buys it. But meat products, meatless, meat-like products are a huge corporate con. Through careful branding, they've gotten people to start ingesting things that have to have vitamins and minerals re-added to them chemically in order to be particularly nutritive.
Yeah, and I can't understand why vegans think lab-created stuff is better for you. Oh, but it's better for the environment. Screw that crap. Come on, are you freaking... No, you are out of your mind. You literally are out of your mind. That is the beginnings of your psychiatric problems. That is the very beginning of it. Believing the crap spewed about how it's so much better for the environment to eat this lab-created junk.
That are heavily processed, massively overpriced. You're taking a cheap product that you can grow an almost limitless amount of. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to grow soybeans compared to some crops, and you texture it. In some cases, you add effectively what would be meat-derived proteins from it, to it, and then you make it look vaguely like meat. I've tried some of these products. I think I've tried most of them. To be clear, I'm not a fan of eating soy, unless it's soy sauce, because the fermentation process destroys the chemicals in it that are bad for you.
I'm glad he acknowledges that soy in itself is bad for you, like, unless you ferment it. Like, I'm so glad he mentions this, because not everybody's aware of this. What's even better, though, is natto. I've never had natto. I would not try it because I hear it's very strong, but it could have been made wrong as well. I just saw people try it and they like nearly gagged on it, so I don't know if natto is actually like that if you make it right. But yeah, no, just cut the soy. If you're gonna eat meat, just eat the dang meat. Stop eating this crap.
And that's used all over the world for a very, very long time. It's not a new invention. One thing I would say is that the fixation with making it like meat just shows that human beings are geared towards consuming meat.
Thank you. Yes, I can't agree more. I fully 100% agree with this.
Human beings are omnivores.
Yes, more carnivore, we're mostly carnivorous is what we're supposed to be. Biologically, that's who we were. That's how we became who we were. Okay, so we are mostly carnivorous. You know how like they say like this creature is mostly herbivorous with like the exception of little insects here and there, right? Well, we're kind of on the opposite end. We should be mostly carnivorous, eating a small amount of plants if you feel you can. If you think the plants are bothering you, go carnivore. Try carnivore. If you don't want to be carnivore, then don't be carnivore. But don't be pushing, but you have to be 90% plant-based because that's the best way to be. No, I've already been there.
And people who are vegan and vegetarian often don't understand this. Now, vegetarianism can be healthy. You're still eating animal products, dairy, eggs, and so forth. So
Don't eat non-fat, and always eat the fat of any animal product you eat. But I am going to tell you, buddy, there are accounts of anemia in vegetarians. Even vegetarians, because dairy, especially the pasteurized dairy, is not going to have any iron in it, or very, very little, if at all. You need to look into that more, because that, like, if you're planning on being vegetarian, look really hard into that and reconsider, please. Don't just go vegetarian because someone's telling you to. Okay? Don't go vegetarian because a little voice in the back of your head saying, I suddenly don't want to eat meat anymore. Just eat your dang meat and stop listening to people, okay? Listen to your elders, because your elders are going to say, oh, but biologically, we always ate meat. You remember, I remember back in the day, they used to serve organs at this one place, blah, 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 blah. Listen to them, because they know what's best in terms of what you should eat. Because I'm sure none of them had the problems that we do now. None of them had rampant anemia. None of them had crazy amounts of nutrient deficiencies. If they went crazy, it was probably because they were drinking too much, or they, were smoking a bunch of crap, and, and the reason they're doing this is because they've had other problems in their life that led them down that road. It's never just, oh, I just wanted to do it. And maybe it was, depending on how far back your elders go. But I would say that the people in the 20s definitely weren't smoking just for the heck of it. Like, 'cause I think this, if I'm remembering correctly, I think the whole cigarette thing came out more like in the 30s. But I mean, early 1900s is like, I don't think they were quite on the, I don't think they were smoking just because of the heck of it. Or drinking just because of the heck of it. I think that happened, maybe it was in the 30s. Maybe, I could be wrong, 30s, 40s, 50s, around there, that they really started pushing cigarettes and thinking it was cool.
The pescatarians, they'll still eat fish because they have the mythology that fish don't have feelings.
Yes, well, yeah, and fish, yeah, I don't really even agree with being pescatarian, although if you're gonna be, you should make most of your diet fish. Like small shellfish and things like that. Most of it. Okay, because you need the iron, you need the zinc, you need all of that. You need it. And no human was ever vegan biologically. Look into it.
Veganism is an aberrance biologically, I'll say that. And you keep getting cases like this where someone just gets hangry because they're not allowed to eat the steak. They haven't had a burger in 3 years, and so they decide to cannibalize another person. Many such cases. Well, not really that many, but...
Your video says another vegan goes meat crazy. Could anyone, like, if he did do another video on this, or if there's another, like, if there's a video he's referring to or something, could you link that, please?
But it does seem to happen at an elevated rate. I just wanted to go on a rant about that. I would say that there are some of these products that are tasty, but after trying them, number one, they're not as good as meat. Number two, they're overpriced. Number three, I'm just trying them out for shits and giggles, and I know that it's not good for me. It would probably be better for you to eat the goddamn processed meat. It'd probably be better for you to eat...
Yes, I'm gonna agree with all this before he even finishes. Yes, eat your gosh dang sausage, eat your pepperoni, eat your salami, eat your bacon, eat all of it. Eat your ham. Eat all the processed meats. They're certainly a lot better. Just get the stuff that doesn't have soy and gluten stuff in it, because there's no point to eating it if it does. Like, it's gonna have the agent that wrecks your gut. So don't eat soy and gluten. If it has that in it, it's not don't eat it.
Eat the chili dog than to eat the Beyond Meat veggie burger or something like that. Again, there are alternatives that you can make at home. They are not expensive. Chickpeas are cheap. Beets are relatively inexpensive. Carrots are not exactly a cash crop. And you can make it yourself. You can make huge batches for the whole neighborhood. And they'll be tastier and fresher. And they won't fuck up your pheromones. They won't fuck up your chemical processes with soy. That's about all. Peace out.
I think you meant hormones, but yes, they won't mess them up as much. Although I would look into other plant products and stuff. And dude, I'm in agreement with you though. Just eat the dang burger. If you're gonna have something, you may as well just eat the burger, the meat burger. If you want something that is meat-based and you don't want to eat meat anymore, just eat the gosh dang meat. Stop ignoring your body's cravings. Stop saying, oh, I want to eat meat, but I just don't think I should because the environment, blah, blah, blah. Screw all of that crap. You were brainwashed. There are too many softies out here, and I am not one of them anymore. I am putting my foot down, and I'm going to say my piece. I'm going to say what I have to say. And if you don't like it, sorry, not sorry. I don't apologize for speaking truth. I'm speaking out against veganism. I hate veganism. A 90% plant-based diet almost killed me. Oh, but you were eating meat. No, I was not eating meat. I was barely eating meat. Oh, but if you just cut the meat, you would have been. No, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have been because I'm better now that I eat meat. And no, I don't run around going crazy, yelling at people, give me your chicken, or give me your steak, or give me this, give me that. No, I have a lot of meat in my fridge, and I'm going to eat my meat, okay? Okay, cool. Bye! Oh, and stop being vegan.